And beautiful. Okay, OTR is finally kind of hitting its stride, able to take care of these large groups of enemies. Hello, Erica. At least your poison isn't going to be too much of a consideration for us here at the moment, but still not especially excited about the encounter, and with good reason, seeing as how it did almost end invariably in some horrible fashion. But fortunately, luck prevailed, and we get through to live another day. And, what do we wish to do with our skill training? Could start the pivot, I guess, to other schools. I think the safer bet is probably to get a little bit of fighting training. Let's try and get our health up. And we'll leave it at that for now while we take another peek at what we have available. It's unfortunately not much. We do have some spell books upstairs. Could see if we could afford, like, I guess the Book of Ice. Transition into, like, a refrigerator build. Could be something at least, but not exactly what I'm hoping for. Ooh, I guess Staff of Cold. I'll pick you up for the moment here, just because we happen to just be discussing the possibility and potentiality of just that kind of a flavor change. And, well, let's see where you lead, my friend. Ooh, this is very recently known to have been Jinn territory, so probably not the best location for us to be hanging out. Ooh, especially without really any recourse for getting back onto our usual track. Hello, friend. Funny seeing you here. Let's see, Quicksilver. With rolls like that, the Quicksilver just ain't gonna do it. Still don't have any fire resistance. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Guess we just are going to use up all of our Quicksilver. Or at least close to it. You know what, we're playing it safe. We're going to drink Heal Wounds. Oh my gosh. And the Quicksilver wasn't enough to do the trick, but a little bit of luck gets us through to the other side. Plus 11 plate armor. So there's no shot that we'll be able to use this, I don't think, in a 3-rune game, or at least not unless something incredible happens. But we'll still pick it up. And you, my friend, did not get as poisoned as I would have liked. I guess at least if you're weak, maybe one more try. Any day now. There we go. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, me oh my. Well, that is either something we can blame on rustiness or my usual ineptitude, but I kind of just started taking steps without thinking. Not a great move when there's a giant 2-headed ogre bearing down on you. Radiate would definitely be huge on, I mean, basically any caster, I think, can find use in the spell there, but oh me oh my, we had so many options here. You know, just use a Fear Scroll, Heal Wounds, a plethora, a cornucopia even, of valid paths and options to take, but hey, it is what it is, and unfortunately we go down once more. So do we keep going headfirst into this? I mean, probably. We could do a little bit of a minor alteration, switching away from the poison start to instead do something like, I mean, I'm a sucker for that Fire Elementalist starting spellbook, of course. Or if we want to actually have a better chance at winning, the real answer is probably to go with a Conjurer. Do not take me for some conjurer. Give ourselves a moment to deliberate and dedicate, at least pretend to dedicate some thought to the conundrum at hand here. mostly just an excuse for me to take a sip of my drink as I start to feel the thirst for sure. Thirst for justice. You've been enjoying Air Elementalist. Ooh, really? I feel like back in the early days, I got really into Air Elementalist because getting a hang of the bounce strategies, using like Zap to bounce into like a triple hit on an enemy, was very satisfying for my my teenage brain. But it definitely hasn't been something that I've ventured too much into since those early days of Yonder. Of yore, I guess. Yonder's a place, yore is a time. At least colloquially, maybe. Or I'm just making stuff up, but hey, that's usually the go-to here on the stream. So what else is new? Let's try it out. We'll go Air Elementalist. That sounds like a good time overall here. And we'll call you Sephiroth was the first thing that came to mind as a name here, mainly because it sounds sort of similar to Sephiroth, probably. But Swiftness is great for safety, and Airstrike is OP. I do like Airstrike for sure for some, you know, element agnostic damage. MCC is super mana efficient for late game. I mean, nothing quite hits like good old Maxwell's capacitive coupling. It's basically a necessity. I mean, if you know, late game in general, it's nice to have. Orbs of Fire, fleeted at a moment's notice, beautiful. But my brain definitely goes a little bit more towards the like 15 rune runs where you basically want capacitive coupling guaranteed every single time. Otherwise, it becomes a bit of a drawn-out slogfest between you and the various Panlords and Hell Lords as well. Is everyone just a Lord? Do we not have more creative? There are no, like, Hell Marquise or Marquise? Whatever the position is. That joke, A, probably wouldn't have hit regardless, but B, definitely fails to do so when you fumble the landing, like I have a tendency to do. Pansexual Lord, hey, is there any other kind? I hope not. I don't know. I don't know, once again, where we're thinking, oh, I guess we do have some piercing action going on. I do need to be careful that I'm not bouncing into myself here. And just do our best here for the moment. So what do? We step out here, and then this gives us the bounce, right? I have to go back in time, relearn all the basic mechanics, the physics of it all, I guess. Mainly gonna just be taking advantage of the fact that it's all piercing attacks. There we go. Finally get some good bounces in, and that should do the trick for you, my friend. Not too shabby. Menacing Aura. This is the one. That is, once again, one of my favorite mutations for my spell casting. Demonspawn's here. Fantastic. Bounce around. You, my friend. Beautiful. And just now my brain is coming up with much better replies to Pansexual Lord, but unfortunately that ship has sailed, and we just have to sleep in it. Fantastic. Much like we would with the Pansexual Lord, am I right, folks? Don't know if that makes sense. Maybe if you squint at it a little bit, but I feel like, again, that is probably something that is fairly consistent in all of my humor. The necessity to, to not look any deeper than surface level and just pretend there's some semblance of humor and sense in the first place is all I can ask. Ooh, Dagger of Venom, though. Don't mind if I do, that's fantastic. We did just get the Demonic Ancestry mutation as our second one. Unfortunately, that is, by and large, one of my least favorites. I mean, at the end of the day, 3-rune run, I probably won't mind too much one way or another. But, and in fact, it could very likely save our life, and then I'll be the one with egg on my face. But the main issue with it, of course, is just one of convenience, or lack thereof. Because constantly having to tell the game, yes, I do want to fire my death bolts all around me, even though my friend is right there, can be a little bit tiresome at a certain point. I should have, by the way, learned some new skills and spells here, but that's fine. Finish off this fight, and then we can manage to do so. Do I even want Static Discharge? Probably not. Swiftness? So Swiftness, you know, at K-Man's recommendation here, we'll definitely pick it up. That's a spell that I haven't used all too much on my end. It makes you slow after, right? Yeah, you get the brain, nothing. I was trying to remember the name of the effect that hits after haste in D&D. It is like lethargic, I think. Oh me and my. You know, I was gonna say we're not firing on all cylinders today, so maybe it was a bad time to return to ye old streaming thing. But with even just another moment of thought going into that, I very quickly realized that wouldn't really be a good representation of how these streams normally go unless I was losing my mind a little bit at the simplest of details. So with that in mind, yikes, 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 my friend. Fortunately, our little devil pal here is a little bit too good at evasion for our own safety. Because I was hoping that the arrow sent by Centaur Buddy would be intervened by them. Intercepted, I guess, would be the right word there, but fortunately that's not the case, so we took the risk of running up the stairs. I probably should have just chugged a potion. Can see now what that would have done. Potion of might, so don't actually feel so horrible about not doing so. Oh me oh my. I guess again, if you want to return to DCSS, you need to get the DCSS experience, and that we definitely are so far here. Through some ungodly amalgamation between my own ineptitude and the game's insistent desires to see us all burn in a pit of misery and despair, well, you've got yourself one fantastic video game. All that combined, by our powers combined. Oof, oof, oof. So, we'll go once more from the top with Zephyroth here. Our favorite air mancing villain, and pop the seed in there one final time. I'm starting to suspect that those good luck pats I got earlier on today were nothing of the sort. A betrayal of the highest order is the only explanation. Again, couldn't possibly be a skill issue on my end. Has to be my lovely partner and their very benevolent well wishes that truly have doomed us all. Blood boils. Spilled blood erupts in flames. Might be okay. I'm not super familiar with that. In fact, is that a newer mutation, or is my recollection just not up to par these days? Definitely not one that I see very often, if at all. But okie dokie. The level 3 Centaur definitely was rough. I mean, I think if I didn't decide to hold out hope that my Quasit could 1v1 duel it, then I wouldn't have taken that nasty second hit in the first place. But no, you're right. You're right. Definitely is all the fault of one Centaur and not a terrible gamer. Truly the only explanation that makes any modicum of sense. Okay. You, my friend, are just gonna be annoying, so let's head back upstairs, replenish, just so we can blast you into oblivion. Beautiful. Dev's your fault, obviously. Hey, now we're sounding like your average DCSS player. You're right. In order to fit in with all the cool kids, I too should be blaming the devs. Really anything and everything except for myself, so if I have chat to back me up and supply any number of excuses, valid or not, then we may just get out of today's stream without irreversibly collapsing and destroying my ego, what little is left of it. But not too bad here. We're back up to at least being able to learn a little some. So we'll bring swiftness into the fold, even though we'll see if we get an opportunity to cast it even a single time this go around. Could be nice, could be fun. But never any real promises. Of course, cloak, love to see it. Definitely throw that bad boy on. Looking very green. You know, I think we're making a little bit of an environmental statement here in the dungeon today. Oh gosh, that's a lot of poison. Lignification does prevent the poison from being immediately lethal, so that's nice. Oh my gosh, we killed the adder and everything. Now that is a miracle if I've ever seen one. We're not even religious yet. It's still just Zephyroth the Gusty over here. Don't know if that's the nickname you want, Zephy boy, but you know, to each their own. Far be it from me to judge you based on that. Plus 10 hand axe. Well, probably have to use that, in all honesty. Hello? Friend? Oh, and we hit a bit of a pitfall there, unfortunately. Well, at the very least, we do have quite the arm on us now. Should be able to dish out a decent chunk of change when it comes to damage. I am going to look for this sewer entrance, since it's nearby. We happen to drop in. It's funny how the early game is much harder than the mid or late. For sure. It's the one thing that has made me always baffled by people that... Oof. Okay, I have to just keep running for our very lives here. I'm hoping to heal up enough that one smite won't ruin my entire career. Fortunately, don't think that's the case. We can give ourselves 7 more HP by switching over to the Spirit Guardian necklace. But yeah, people who streak victories in this game, I do not understand it. It's incredible, and I'm very you know, in awe of their skill and mental fortitude. Very impressive stuff, but it's definitely a tricky situation to try and get through the early game. Here, I'm hoping. No, very distant. Okay, this is just a random weird configuration of halls and not one sewer. So that means that it's probably to our left here. In fact, that looks to be a sewer wall of sorts. Oh my gosh, I have to take the long way around. Take the long way home. And see how it goes. And I guess you mentioned as well, K-Man, except for extended, Hell is Hellish. New Hell is definitely a little bit of an uptick from back in the day, but the one redeeming factor of things like hell are that even if the game makes it, you know, on a surface read difficult, you kind of are guaranteed by that stage in the game. If you've survived until that point, then obviously, oh my gosh, attack of the sun hiccups, the hiccups from hell here. If you've survived up until that point, though, then you generally have the tools at your disposal to continue to do so. But nonetheless, it can still be a bit of a tricky calculus at those stages of the game, for sure.